lay on your back, let your body rest on the earth. Feel all the points that the earth comes up to meet you, to support you and to hold you. Let your palms rest facing upwards, ready to receive the gifts of this practice and the gifts of this time right now as you are. Tuning in to what you need from your practice. Notice your breath and allow it to be at ease. And follow that natural rhythm of the inhale and the filling and the expansion. And the exhale and the releasing and the letting go, surrendering down more deeply towards the earth. Take about 4 or 5 more breaths here. On your next breath in, reach the arms up and back overhead. Take a really big full body stretch. Spread your toes, spread your fingers. And then as you exhale, release your body back just into the earth as you are. And start to walk your feet over to the right side of the mat. And then start to walk your arms over to the right side of your mat as well. And I like to lift the back of my heart up and then just shift it over slightly to that side. Take the right hand to the left wrist. Inhale and then reach up, and exhale, just open a little bit more the left side body. You could take the left ankle and place it on top of the right. Just breathe into the sensations that arise for you here. The expansion, the welcoming of new space in this new moment. And then slowly bring yourself back to center. And then move the legs to the left and the arms to the left, and then lift the back of your heart up and shift it to the left slightly too. Hold on to your right wrist with your left hand. And then maybe the right ankle crosses over the left. And just breathe into this expansion of the right side body. It's a little crescent shape on the floor we've created. It's an intention of expansion, and yet still surrendering to the earth. Stay for another breath here. As you inhale, come back to center again. Reach and find so much length here. And as you exhale, bring the right knee into the chest and interlace your fingers. Hold the back of your hamstring and then just draw the knee into the chest. As you let the left leg go long, let the left leg be really active and point the toes towards the ceiling. And then circle your right ankle clockwise and counterclockwise, allowing the shoulders to melt towards the earth, the back of the head to be rested on the ground. Noticing the just subtle movement of the ankle joint. And then we'll make that movement a little bigger, and we'll start to move through the hip socket. And we'll just go clockwise or counterclockwise, just mindfully through that right hip. You notice your pelvis wanting to come with you. Just gently try to keep it as steady as you can without over gripping or tensing to make that happen. And then you could eventually start to go the other direction as well. And then on your next inhale, straighten your right knee as much as you can while you feel this little hamstring stretch. You could point the right toes towards your feet. You can have a little bend in the knee, it's okay. And then keep the left leg really long. Think of the left heel just sending energy outward, and the crown of the head going in the other direction. Still finding length. Breathe here for another full breath in. Exhale completely, full breath out. Softly bend your right knee and take the right knee across the body. And then we'll take the right arm out long on the mat, gaze over the right shoulder, and just find this length, this opening, this gentle supine twist. So we open up the heart for our practice, cleansing out the weak. Take another full inhale, a complete long exhale. On your next inhale, take the right knee back in towards the chest. Give your right hip quite a bit of compression here as you just draw the thigh into your chest quite a bit. And then exhale, release the right leg long. On your inhale, take the left thigh into the chest. Interlace those fingers behind the hamstring. And let the right leg go really long. Lift your kneecap so that right leg is a little active. Then we'll circle the left ankle. Let the shoulders melt away from your ears. See if you can stay in this moment, really present to just this subtle, intentional movement in our left foot and ankle. Switching directions. And then eventually moving that movement to a little bit of a bigger movement at the hip joint, just loosening and sort of oiling up, I like to think of it as, that hip socket, that hip joint. And then eventually going the other direction, just exploring what this feels like in comparison to the other side. And then eventually make your way back towards center, draw the knee into the chest. Exhale, take the left thigh across the body, and take the left arm out to the left. Gaze over the left shoulder, let the right leg still be long and active. Opening the left heart space across the chest. Letting the body melt towards the earth as we cleanse and open here. Take another full breath in. Full breath out. As you inhale, make your way back towards the center. Draw that knee into your chest and really give it a big squeeze, a big stretch there in the front of that hip crease. Then exhale, bring the left leg long. Inhale, take the arms, reach them all the way up and back again. As you exhale, bring your knees into your chest and then rock on your spine back and forth, creating a little awareness, a little sensation to the spine. If this isn't comfortable, always roll over to your side and press your way up instead. And eventually, we'll make our way all the way to tabletop. So you can come over onto your hands and knees. And we'll come to tabletop with the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips with the toes untucked. Draw the lower belly slightly in and up just to find some awareness of our neutral spine here in our tabletop. And then slowly and steadily, we'll take the tailbone and the sit bones and lift them up towards the ceiling as you spill your heart forward. Shoulders roll back, cow pose with length and space. As you exhale, we'll round and come into cat pose, filling up the back body, letting the head go. As you inhale, reverse that curve. Nice big breath in. And exhale, round. Find your neutral spine again. Walk your hands slightly closer together. And then inhale, reach that right arm high. We're going to get into the thoracic spine, take our thread the needle. So right arm will come underneath left. We'll come down onto the right shoulder. Let the right side of your head meet the ground. And then reach the left arm up and overhead. Once you arrive there, settle your pelvis so it's nice and level. And then feel this opening across the left side body and the back of the right heart space. Maybe even you gently press the left hand into the earth, giving you a little bit of traction, pressing the sit bones up and back. Now choose to stay here. Maybe you take the left arm and reach it high towards the sky, or even wrap the left arm around the low back. Now from here, you might find a little bit of enjoyment in taking the weight into the right leg and straightening the left leg out. So this is not that anything is mandatory, but this definitely is not mandatory. But you might try this, and then if you feel steady, you might actually lift the left leg up. Take note of where you are. If you're on an unstable surface, you might find this more challenging. One more breath. Roll the shoulder back. And then slowly and with control, take the left knee back to the earth. Let the left hand meet the ground. And then inhale and sweep that right arm back up towards the sky. Exhale, plant the right hand to the earth. And inhale, take the left arm, reach it up, so same thing. And exhale, sweep that left arm underneath the body. And then same thing, we'll take that right arm long. Let the sit bones move up and back and take some nice deep breaths as you press the earth away with your right hand. Breathe here. Feel this opening, feel this letting go. And then you might take that right arm and reach it up towards the sky or wrap it around the low back. And potentially, you shift the weight to the left leg and slide the right toes out behind you in space. And then maybe you lift the right leg up. Find your gaze, find your breath. Stay for another breath in. And then slowly that right foot meets the ground, bend the knee. Plant your knee on the ground. Lift the right arm high. Exhale, press it into the earth. Inhale, reach the left arm high. Exhale, plant the left hand onto the ground. Take your right foot back behind you now, and then Keeping that heel lifted for a moment, stack your shoulders over your wrists. As you exhale, press the right foot back behind you in space. As you inhale, come forward. We'll just do that a couple times just to stretch the bottom or the back of the calf, the bottom of the right foot. And on the next time that you bring yourself back up to neutral, walk the right foot around to the left side of the body and look over your left shoulder. Breathe here. On your next breath, we'll walk the right foot back and then take it all the way around to the right hand. We'll make our way up into kneeling lunge. So we'll come into this Anjaneyasana shape. So press down into the right foot, engage the left glute, lean forward slightly, and then take your arms and reach them up overhead. Breathe here. Take the right hand to the left wrist, reach up. Exhale, side bend to the right. So just lots of opening today. All that sticky humidity will just kind of cleanse and move through that energy, move it out. As we inhale, bring the arms high. And as you exhale, plant the hands onto the ground. And then let the left hand meet the ground and reach the right arm up for a twist. You might tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. As you exhale, plant the right hand down onto the ground. Soften your left knee to the ground. And then scoot your hips back in space as you come onto the right heel. Fingertips can be on the ground, and then maybe you take them to your heart. So we're going to have this half split or kneeling pyramid pose be a little more active. So we can find that neutral pelvis, send the gaze and heart forward, and then send the right sit bone in and back. Take a few breaths. You might reach the arms forward and up for a little more challenge, and then turn the toes out and in. Just get a little nerve glide, a little fascial glide here. And bring the hands back to heart center. Slowly bend the right knee. Take the hands to frame the front foot and then come back into your tabletop. Before we take the other side, bring the big toes together. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, scoot your hips back for child's pose. You can take the arms and reach them really long on the mat. So we'll come again with this intention of finding length and space. Let the forehead meet the ground. And then stay here or walk your hands over to the left side. And keep breathing here. Nice big breaths in. Big breath out. And then walk your hands over to the center. Reach further on the inhale. And as you exhale, come over to the right. And really root that left sit bone down, let the head go. As you inhale, bring your hands back to center. Press your hands into the ground and then inhale and rise right back up to your tabletop. From here, let the left toes come back behind you in space. Press firmly through your hands. Find this nice level pelvis and then exhale as you press into the earth. Let the left heel sink back in space. And inhale, shift forward. And exhale, press back. Opening up the back side of that left calf and foot. One more time, press back. And then come back to center. And slowly start to walk your left toes to the right side of the mat and look over your right shoulder as you welcome more length and space into the left side body. Another breath here. And then slowly walk the left foot back and wrap that left leg all the way up and around as we place the left foot where the hand is, left hand. And then rise up, come all the way up onto your right knee and your left foot. Coming into our lunge here, our kneeling lunge. So draw the tailbone heavy, engage the right glute, and then lean forward some, so just a little bit. And then you can take your arms and reach them up overhead. Gaze forward or up, whatever you're feeling this morning. And then take the left hand to the right wrist and reach up even more. So the shoulder blades lift, the rib cage lifts up. And then as you exhale, side bend to your left. Keep grounded into your leg, so press into the left heel. Press into the top of the right foot. Stay steady. Another breath in. A full breath out. Inhale, reach the arms high again. Exhale, plant your hands down onto the mat. And then on your inhale, take the left arm, reach it up towards the sky. So find this big long wingspan. Hug your left sit bone in and back and press into your left foot and left heel. And then you could choose to exhale and then lift the back knee up off the ground if you'd like, just for a little more muscle activation. Stay steady in your breath, gaze up or down. One more time, full breath in. And as you exhale, slowly as you can, take that right knee back to the floor. And then take your left hand back to the floor. And from here, we'll scoot the hips back in space for our half split or our kneeling pyramid. And let the left heel press into the ground. Now lift the toes. Hug this left sit bone in and back, and then see if you can lift your hands off the ground. Place the palms at heart center. And while you hug your pelvis, you hug your hips together, and then send your heart up. Maybe you can hinge from the hip crease and come forward slightly. You might find that one side feels a lot more sensational than the other. I'm finding that right now. Roll your shoulder heads back in space. So you come forward with this open heart, even in moments of challenge. And maybe you take your arms and reach them forward. Stay for 2 more breaths. You might turn the left toes in and out, finding some movement in the fascia and the nerves there, in the hamstring. 1 more breath in. And as you exhale, bring hands back to heart center. Slowly bring your hands back to the ground as you bend your knee. Take the left knee underneath the left hip. And take a moment here. So inhale and exhale. And then back to your neutral tabletop. Walk the knees together. Tuck the toes under and sink back for toes pose. So we'll spread those baby toes out away from the other toes and find the spreading of the toes in the plantar fascia. Draw the lower belly in and up, and then take your thumbs to your forehead center. Lift your heart, roll your shoulders back. With compassion, we just breathe into whatever comes up for us right now. Welcoming the strong sensations of this moment. And take another 3 breaths here. One more breath in. As you exhale, softly bring the hands back to the earth. Separate your knees apart, untuck your toes, tap the tops of those feet into the ground. Then we'll tuck the toes back under, but keep your knees hip width apart, and grab a block or a pillow and place it between your upper and inner thighs. Draw the knees or the thighs together, and then come and stand tall on your knees, and we'll come into another heart opener, a little bit of a back bend here. So tailbone heavy, pubic bone up. Draw the shoulders back, and then take your hands to your hips. Draw those elbows back behind you. As you begin to engage your core, press your hips forward, lift your heart up, and then maybe gaze up. From here, notice if your heels are sickling in or out, keep them pointing straight up, and then maybe you take your hands back to your heels, if that is in your practice, and gaze up. And you can always just support your low back here with your hands. Find steady support and breath, making wise choices. 1 more breath in and out. At the bottom of that exhale, soften your hip crease and start to come back down towards the earth. You can take your prop out and away. And from here, we'll plant the hands back down onto the ground. And then take your right leg and reach it back behind you. And exhale and draw your knee towards your right elbow. And then step your right foot back to your right hand. Plant both hands to the inside of your right foot this time. And then let your left leg come back long. So we're in lizard pose now. So the right toes could face slightly out to the side. You can let this right hip like really open up out to the side if you'd like. Certainly another variation is to hug that right thigh into the arm and the chest. And you're welcome to try that if that feels a little more accessible or grounding for you. Otherwise, you can just let that right leg almost like flop out to the side. And then plant the left arm into the ground really firmly and take the right arm and reach it high up to the right. Bend your left knee and then reach your right hand for the left foot. And they don't have to touch, or they could touch. And if they do, press the foot into the hand into the foot. But then as you lift your pelvis up, press into the earth with the left hand. Stay here, opening the left quad. Hip flexor. Another breath in. And out. Softly let the left foot come to the ground. Reach the right arm high. Exhale, plant the right hand to frame the front foot. Tuck the back toes under and just come into runner's lunge for 1 moment, sending the heart forward. We're gonna just engage the core here a little, and a little more action here in this shape. We're gonna rise all the way up, high crescent. Soften the back knee slightly. Nice big breath in. And when you exhale, plant the hands back down, frame the front foot, soften the back knee to the earth, and then take the right knee underneath your right hip. Plant your hands firmly into the ground. Let your left leg come long, so same thing other side. Exhale, left elbow to left knee, draw it in, and then step the left foot to the left hand, and we come back up. This time we're going to take the right thigh back onto the earth, letting that right foot scoot away and towards the back of the mat. And then the left hand will come inside the left foot, and we'll come into lizard on this side. So that left hip can start to open up out to the side. Maybe you come to the outer edge of the left foot. You can kind of settle into some more surrender here rather than, muscular control and action, just for this moment. Finding that balance. And then bend your right knee, and then inhale and take the left arm high, and exhale, bring it back in space towards your right foot. And then from here, you're going to either reach for the hand or don't, but either way, gaze over your left shoulder. Press the foot into the hand and the hand into the foot if you are here. And do have a little bit of a lifting action of your pelvis by pressing into the earth and engaging your core for support here. One more breath in. And don't rush your way out. Exhale, let it go. Roll that right shoulder back. Inhale, the left arm will reach up towards the sky as the right foot meets the ground. And then exhale and plant the left hand on the outside of your left foot this time. Tuck the back toes under, gaze forward. Runner's lunge, exhale, lift the right knee. Hug the left hip in and back, and with control, slowly take your arms and reach them up overhead as you rise up to crescent lunge. Soften your back knee. Hug your left stick bone in and back. Take another big breath in here. Maybe look up. Exhale, take the hands down to frame your front foot. Soften your right knee and then your left knee to the earth. Take a moment here in tabletop, breath in. As you exhale, lift the knees off the ground and then press the earth away as you keep your knees bent and sit the sit bones up, 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 and back. Almost like you're in a deep squat here, making your way towards down dog. Then from here, you can start to press your hips up and back and straightening the knees out as much as you'd like, letting the heels stay lifted, and then really pressing the earth away through the hands and the shoulders, rolling the biceps in and up, and breathe here. You'll walk your toes together and then inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, bend the right knee and stack the right hip on top of the left. Circle your right ankle. Then circle your right hip. Then on your next breath, straighten your right leg, square off your hips, and then let the right foot meet the ground. Press the earth away. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, and then stack the hip on top, left hip on top of right. Circle the ankle, and then circle the hip. And then slowly square off your hips, straighten your left leg some. Release the left foot to meet the right, and then separate your feet quite wide apart. Bend those knees again. Stick your sit bone up and back. And then slowly walk your feet towards your hands and come into a forward fold at the back of your mat. As you make your way to the back of the mat here in forward fold, soft knees, let your head hang heavy, and then take ragdoll. And with your feet really firmly into the ground, shift the weight from the heels to the toes. Find a place that feels really relieving for you of that weight, right? And let the upper body go. Another breath here. Exhale, sigh it out. On your inhale, find a halfway lift. And then walk your feet towards one another and cross your right foot on top of your left foot. So now you're standing in a forward fold with your opposite feet on the side, right? So like your right foot's on the left side, left foot's on the right side. And then slowly walk your hands over to the right side of your mat, breathing into the left side of the leg and hip. Then make your way over to the other side. We're going to do this both ways. Little IT band and outer hip. And then we'll come back to center and then just switch sides. So now we'll take the opposite foot in front, and then we'll go over to the left side first, breathing into that right outer hip. And then slowly we'll go over to the other side, same thing. Make your way back towards center, uncross your feet, soften your knees quite a bit, and find a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands to your hips, and then press your way all the way up. As you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep your arms back up overhead. Exhale, make your way back down to the earth. Let it go. Inhale, find a halfway lift with soft knees, and then walk your hands out in front of you, back to downward facing dog with those bent knees. Press the earth away, let your sit bones move up and back, find space, then gaze forward, lift your heels. And then step or hop, make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up, standing at the top of the mat. Exhale, dive forward, forward, fold. Inhale, we'll find a halfway lift. And then exhale, plant your hands on the mat and step your way back to high plank. So you can do this on your knees or toes, but find a nice long line of your body here. And then as you exhale, slowly lower down, all in one line. Make your way to the earth. Untuck your toes. Inhale and find a baby cobra. So lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. One more time, roll your shoulders back. Pull your hands towards your hips. Send your heart forward and up. And exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Make your way up high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right leg lifted up. And then exhale, draw your knee towards your nose. Step forward for warrior one. Back foot on an angle. Start with your knee over your right knee over your ankle. Hug your right hip in and back, and then lift your fingertips off the ground. Then upright your torso. So we come from this place of integrity as we rise. We stay here for a nice big full breath in. As you exhale, open up warrior two. So the back foot will turn slightly, maybe a wider stance. Reach the arms out long, gaze over right hand. Find this spacious grounding posture. Seems very applicable and important right now. On your inhale, we'll flip the front palm, straighten the front knee, and reverse a triangle here. So instead of warrior, reverse warrior, reverse triangle. And as you exhale, land back with your right knee straight. We're coming into triangle, so reach the right arm forward and then let the right hand meet the floor, the inner shin, or a block as you reach the left arm high. Find this nice long wingspan as you hug your right sit bone in and back for stability here and space in the pelvis. We don't want to jam the hip joints here just to get into triangle pose to make it look pretty. It's much better to have that muscular activation and a little bit of space. One more breath in. And with control on your exhale, we're going to rise up with core control. And then turn and face the long left side of the mat. Toes face inward slightly, heels out. Take your hands behind your back and either choose reverse prayer or interlace your fingers and roll your shoulder heads back as you draw your shoulder blades together. So from here, with softness in the knees, I'm going to press my palms together and do reverse prayer here for a little wrist stretch. Roll the shoulders back, big breath in. As you exhale, soften and lower towards the earth. Let your head hang heavy. Find softness in the knees. Let your forehead really dive deeply towards the ground, but then let the shoulder blades lift towards one another and the elbows lift slightly up if you're in this shape. Stay for another breath in. As you exhale, release your hands to the earth. And then inhale, find a halfway lift here in our wide fold. As you exhale, walk your hands to the right side. And we're just going to reach to the left side. I'm just not mirroring you. And then walk the right hand to the left foot and press the right hand into the earth. Let your head go and just feel again this opening along the right side body. Another breath in. And breath out. Soft knees. Here we'll walk the hands over to the right foot. Left hand will press into the earth as we let the head go. Feel that tractioning and opening of the left side body. Stay rooted through your big toe mounds. One more breath in and breath out. Make your way back towards center and inhale, come to a halfway lift. Soften your knees and then turn your right toes to face towards the right side of the front of the mat. Then walk your hands around and frame your front foot, come into runner's lunge. Plant your hands on the ground, step your way back to high plank, and then slowly lower either all the way or halfway. If you come halfway, shoulders in line with hips, and then untuck your toes, send your heart forward, pulling your hands back towards your feet, upward facing dog. Feels good on this Sunday morning. And then exhale, downward facing dog. As you inhale, the left leg will lift now. And exhale, draw the knee towards the nose with control. At the last moment, let the left foot meet the ground. We'll come to warrior one. Hug the left sit bone in and back leg is straight. And then lift the fingertips off the earth as you upright your torso. Nice and steady here in our warrior one, gaze forward or up. Find the stability through the legs so we can rise up here. Another breath in. And as you exhale, open up to warrior two. And so the back foot is on a little bit of an angle towards the front of the mat. Bend into the left knee and then reach those arms all the way out as your heart faces the right side of your mat and your space. Soften those shoulders away from the ears. Another breath here. And then flip your front palm, straighten your left knee. Reverse triangle as you reach the left arm up. Find length along that whole left side of the body. Stability through your core instead of collapsing through the right side of the spine and hip. And as you exhale, land back into where we began with the left knee straight. Soften just a tiny bit of the knee for support through the joint. And then reach forward and then exhale, let the left hand come to the ground or a prop or your leg. Right arm will reach high towards the sky for triangle pose. Left sit bone hugs in and back, and right glute stays nice and strong too as we press into the earth with the feet. Gaze up or down, whatever you need for spaciousness across your neck and across your heart. Take another big full breath in here. When you breathe out with control and slow motion, we rise right back up. And then we'll turn and take the toes towards the long right side of the mat. I'm going to just turn around so you can see me. And so toes slightly out, heels in. If you want to take a bind again, maybe you take the opposite thumb on top, or if you took reverse prayer, maybe just take that again. Breathe into the back ribs, right? So if you feel your hands back there, breathe into that space. We have some length and expansion all the way around the rib cage. Soft knees. And then send your heart forward as you come down again for your forward fold. You can leave the hands there, right where they are. Lift the shoulder blades and the elbows high. Nod your head yes. And nod your head no. And take 2 more breaths here. On your next exhale, release the hands towards the earth. Inhale, find a little bit of a halfway lift, and this time we're just going to make our way all the way back around. So we'll lift the back heel, come into our runner's lunge, send the heart forward, nice and steady, press into the left heel. Plant the hands on the earth, and then step back to plank pose, knees or toes. Slowly lower either halfway or all the way down, and then inhale for upward facing dog or cobra. Stay for a moment, linger here in this openness, and then when you're ready, exhale downward facing dog. We'll stay in down dog here for about 5 breaths. On your next breath, bend your knees a lot. Let your sit bones move up and back, and then slowly walk your hands back to your feet. We'll make our way into a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale, plant your hands at heart center. We're going to take a moment to step into the right foot and lift the left foot. Hold on to the left foot with your hand. Draw your knees together. Draw your lower belly in and up. We'll come into dancer pose from here. So reach the right arm high. And then with control and steadiness, find your gaze. Press your foot into your hand and your hand into your foot. The first thing I feel is my left shoulder opening. So kind of go with that first. Feel your foot, your right foot, rooted into the earth. And then slowly hinge forward and up with your heart. Let the left foot press into the hand even more, hand to foot. Stay here. Find your focus. Find your breath. Find more length along your side body, even reach. And then slowly make your way back up. And keep the left foot lifted, plant the hands at heart center. Come into tree pose. So left foot will place itself on the inside of your right leg. Hug your leg and your foot together. Press the palms into one another, and the heart lifts. And then you could take your arms and reach them high, and maybe left hand to right wrist as you reach up. And then exhale, side bend to your left. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palms meet heart. Then lift the left knee high, inhale. Exhale, step the left foot down to the ground. We'll come into dancer on the other side as we make our way up the mat. So right knee into the leg, and then hold the right hand to the right foot if you can. You can always use a strap or place your foot on a piece of furniture and just to do this part and then come back to the mat. And then let your left arm reach high. Start from here. So all set up. Press the right foot into the right hand. And then you can start to let the opening happen here as you hinge your heart forward and up. So the opening happens with starting from a good foundation. Steady and aware. Tending to that first, and then opening more. Another full inhale here. Reach, and as you exhale with control, we'll make our way back up. Lift the right knee up, hands to heart, and then come into tree pose. Right foot to the inside of the left leg. Plant the palms at heart center. Lift from your center up, and then take your arms high. Reach the right hand to the left wrist, inhale. And exhale, side bend to the right, any amount, while keeping the stability and control through your foundation. Big toe mound is pressing. Heel is pressing. One more breath in. And exhale. Inhale, take your arms, reach them high. Exhale, plant the hands at heart. Inhale, lift the right knee. Step the right foot forward and then the left foot forward. Make your way to the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Exhale. Let your heart come towards the earth. Find an inhale, halfway lift, and then plant your hands on the mat. Step your way back to down dog. You really want to go through a flow here. You can do that too. And then make your way back to down dog. Then walk your feet together. Inhale, lift the right leg up. And exhale, we're coming into pigeon. So right shin will come to the floor, and then left leg will come long again on the mat. Untuck the toes. You can always prop your right hip up with a block or a pillow, folded blanket, something like that, so you have support. Then lift your heart on your inhale. Find a nice opening here. Then exhale and dive forward. And you can let your forehead rest on your hands. You can also let your arms reach really long and forward and just get, again, this kind of lengthening aspect of the under part of the arms and side body here. Wherever you are, though, stay for about 5 full breaths. Just making sure this is still recording. And then on your way, on your next breath in, lift your heart, press your hands into the earth. Tuck your back toes under, and then lift from the deepest part of you up. And then lift the right leg high. If you'd like, you could take a wild thing, so taking that right foot and bringing it to the outside of the left leg. Then turning yourself over and then reaching the right arm up and finding this lift in this beginning of the day as we open the heart. As you exhale, take the right hand to the earth. Right leg, inhale, lifts high again. Exhale, let the foot meet the ground. Inhale, left leg will lift. Exhale, knee towards your nose, and then left shin to the ground as we make our way to pigeon on this side. Again, starting from a place of lift and open heart, openness here, and supporting that left hip with a prop if you like. And then on your breath, exhale, let your heart come down towards the earth. Either hands meet the ground, forehead, or reach those arms again long. Spreading yourself out onto the earth here, bowing inwards. Stay for 5 breaths. Another full breath in, full breath out. As you inhale, lift your heart. Plant the hands on the earth, tuck the back toes under, and then lift yourself back up. Inhale, lift the left leg high, and then as you exhale, turn for wild thing. Let the left foot meet the outside of the right leg. Press into the earth and lift up. Open the heart. Gaze back. Press strongly into both feet into the ground. So you open and lift. As you exhale, come back around. Let the left leg lift high towards the sky. Last time. And then plant the left foot onto the ground too. Soften your knees, look forward, and then make your way to high plank. Inhale. Exhale as slowly as you possibly can. Make your way all the way down. And then bring your forearms underneath you and just take a moment and come into Sphinx pose. So we'll roll the shoulders back in space. Press firmly into the forearms. Let your heart shine forward. Let your legs rest heavy but active on the earth. And then slowly let your heart meet the ground. Let your arms become in front of you and then turn your thumbs up. Let the forehead melt to the ground. And then just before we come onto our back, one last piece here. So engage the legs and the core. And then inhale, lift the arms, lift the chest. Lift the back of your head up and hold. Maybe you lift your legs too. Nice big breath in, so much back body work here. And exhale, release. All the way to the ground. Bend the knees. You can take the hands in and then just take the knees left and right. Slowly let the legs soften towards the earth. Roll to the back. Make your way over. Draw your knees into your chest just to counter pose from back bending here. And then slowly let your feet land on the ground. We're going to come into a bridge pose. So let your feet be about hip width apart. Let the arms rest on the earth. Take a breath in. And engage your core. Exhale. Lift your hips up. Roll your shoulders back. And you can stay here. You can lift the hips a little higher for today if you'd like, maybe than usual. Untuck your chin. And then maybe this time you bring your arms up and overhead. So just get more length along the side bodies here. Just coming to a place with length and space for today. Because that's what it's always about, but a little extra today. Big breath in. And then with control, one segment at a time. Harder with the arms overhead, especially if your upper back is tight. Let the spine and then the pelvis meet the ground. Let your arms rest along your side, and then we'll take a gentle inversion. So if you have shoulder stand in your practice, you're welcome to go there. Or if you have a pillow or a block, you could place the back of your pelvis, your sacrum, on the prop, and then lift one leg up and then the other. Let your shoulders roll back. Let the palms face upward. Allow yourself to settle here for at least 6 or so breaths. So you could stay much longer in your own space if you'd like. You could also make your way to a wall and find your final rest here with legs up along the wall. Or slowly take your feet down, one at a time. Plus, press into the earth as you lift your hips up. And then slowly let your legs rest out along the mat for your final rest. Slowly arrange your body in a way that allows you to feel like you fully surrendered to the earth, with the palms facing up and the heart open. Let your body be heavy, your breath be natural and at ease. Shavasana.